It's all good.
For you guys,
Yeah.
coming off the bench,
Yeah.
it's a huge game for you guys. Did you guys know you started the game with 11-0 run when you guys came in?
No, I didn't. I just know our job is to come off the bench, bring the energy, continue to, help the team as much as we can, and that's what we did.
Ivan, for you coming off of last game where ended early, this game, we heard all the free Irish stuff. How important was it for you, thinking back the last couple of years, in these type of games you guys kind of got hit and didn't hit back?
It felt good. New York. I'm not sure if that's our rivalry. That may be our little rivalry team.
It feel like it went from
it feels like our little rivalry team right now. So coming in, we just knew they was eager to get a win. So we just knew we had to really be on our toes and really follow the game plan that the coaches wanted us to do. We did it, and we executed on the defensive end, and that led to our offense.
All right, lastly, it was another big one for you guys at home. You guys doing great at home. I asked you last week about Emma coming back.
Yeah.
You're talking about worrying about what's here, taking it one game at a time.
Yeah.
She's almost back. Yeah. How much are you guys looking forward to being a full roster again?
We're looking forward to that because it's going to give us an opportunity to click more, to start really getting the chemistry. It's hard to get the chemistry when you got one of your big-time players out. So we're definitely excited to have her back, but at the same time, we're happy for her opportunity that she got to go back and play for her country and things like that. So I'm just excited to have her back, and I'm just ready to really get this team together and just really see how really good we can be.
At this point,
it's
right
just
now,
we just so eager, man. It's like it's like itching. It's like right here,
you guys still just like foaming at the mouth. Right?
Yeah, we really are because it's like she played 3-4 games with us and then left.
Yeah.
So you can't build chemistry with the whole team when you got a big missing piece out. So it's like, man, we so eager to get her back and just get her back out there on the court and everybody clicking.
What's going on, everybody? It's another, I was going to say Tuesday, but that is a lie. This is a Saturday morning. So a Saturday morning special here, kind of maybe our free agency special, why not, this fine Saturday morning. We're going to start talking about the WNBA, though. You guys just heard from Ivory Lotta. It was an impressive, hard-fought win. They got over the New York Liberty, I want to say Thursday evening.
Yep.
And, they're 10-5 on the year. And despite the success that they've had, they're still trying to get to know each other. Cardell and have been talking a little bit about them trying to find their chemistry. And it's impressive. It's 15 games in, but, they're over 500, 5 games over 500. They got a long 11-day, 5-game road trip coming up. Emma Miesemann finally returned. She played the first 4 games of the season after missing training camp for other overseas duties. She was just playing for her country, for Belgium. They finished bronze, I believe, in Eurobasket. And she's back. She's going to be with the team traveling on this road trip. She plays tomorrow, which is her first games, again, in not a couple months, but a month. She's been out for about a month and some change. So it'll be interesting to see how they look when she gets back because we still don't really have a clear picture of who they are because they've been missing their starting center. She led the league in three-point shooting last year, so it's a really big piece. So that being said, I want to welcome Mike Sykes from SB Nation.
What up?
Nothing, man. Good. Donnell Coley.
Yes, sir.
One of our reporters here at The Focus. And then you guys already know Cardell. So, Cardell, you want to share your initial thoughts about the physical game we saw on Thursday night, and you got a better view than me, being baseline.
Yeah, it was definitely physical. I feel like it was needed. Sometimes you got to really be tested to see what you made of, even not just as an entire team, but like you said, they're still learning one another. So it might be players that they're not quite sure I can go to battle with, and they literally brought it out on. Like they was bringing it, like I said, they had a couple former Mystics that were clearly motivated to show DC like y'all messed up, and then rightfully so. They should come out like that. But the fouls weren't just regular fouls. Like ladies was hitting the ground. Like no, you can't even get a shot up. And so it was, offensively it was an ugly game, but it was a defensive, physical battle, and that's how the Liberty usually beat them in the years past. They would just beat them up, and I think you talked to Natasha Cloud. She was like, we get punched, but we don't punch back. Mm-hmm. Tonight we punch back, and that's a good sign. Like okay, they can grind out a win if needed. So now it's just about really getting Emma back into the fold, bringing that full chemistry together, and doing that against the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota was LA Sparks, so on and so forth. So, I love seeing that. And, I've been talking about that from the beginning of the year. I can't wait to see because that's when they usually lose. That's why they couldn't make it out the East. The Fever and
Fever
Liberty
used to beat 'em up
especially.
every time they saw 'em.
They just, led by Tamika Catchings, soon to be Hall of Famer, all-time great. They just get into them, and certain people didn't respond. So I like what I saw.
And then going forward, even from an offensive standpoint, they've done a pretty good job moving the ball. And you've been talking about maybe we'll see a lineup change in the starting lineup in the future, because right now their bench is literally better than their starting unit. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but they were down 11-2, 15-4, something like that. The bench comes in, the Goon Squad, there's Ivory Lotta, Natasha Cloud, Tiana Hawkins come in. They go on an 11-0 run. This is just a 3-person wrecking crew off their bench. Comes in immediately, 11-0 run, the game has changed. New York couldn't really recover. And then you get to the second half, the starters come out again. You go through the same little kind of lulls. Goon Squad comes back in, they take off again. So it's kind of like it's a luxury that you have this much talent on one team. But as you were saying, you might want to insert some of those dogs into that start lineup.
And I think he will, and maybe that's his plan. Because, years past, it was kind of similar to what the Wizards went through last year. It was like the starters heavy, minutes and all that. Then when they get to the bench, it was just teams come back, or if they up, they just pull away.
Yeah.
And then the starters got to come back in and try to save the day. And it's hard to do that against the better team. So maybe that's his plan. Maybe, maybe he might leave it like that because he know Ivory, Natasha, Tiana, man, they gonna come off the bench, do what they do. Now some of the starters, they might be on there, they get in the game, missing passes, they they might not be engaged. So we'll see. But the beauty of it, they got depth and they can play with a lot of things.
Let me ask, do y'all think that's just a function of them adding new pieces in Elena and Christy, like with their starting lineup? Is it a chemistry issue or do they just not mesh that well?
I mean, it's all about when she was with the Sparks, she didn't always push the ball up. Candace did and everything.
The biggest issue is
she
she's the primary ball handler. It needs to be Taylor Hill if they keep that unit together. So you bring Emma back, and they haven't played a lot. Like, Emma and Elena don't know each other, like from a chemistry standpoint, enough yet, because they played 4 games together, right? And I think Elena missed one of those 4 games at the beginning of the season. Right. So they've had 3 games together. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest differences. Taylor Hill is probably a better playmaker at this point than Chrissy Tolliver is. If they flip those roles, it might make the starting lineup go better because they want to run, and at times Christy kind of pulls it.
Nah, it ain't at times. Keep it a buck. She no disrespect. I love her. I mean, she's a Turk. You know how I feel about my lady Turk. But she bring it. It's plenty of time I see them running TRP, running and all that. And she just gradually jogs up the court.
And the defense set.
Now Ivory, she gone. But those are easy points you miss when you know what I'm saying, you work out.
Right.
And if you give a team like the Liberty time to set up on it's hell. You saw what happened. It was bad. Like, what was Della down 4 for 15?
She was 4 for 15. Charles was 3 for 15.
Yeah, and the efficiency was ugly. That's why they had to grind it out. But those could have been easy baskets had they ran the floor. You know, at least fine. If you're not gonna push it, get the ball up. Because Taylor, she can get there in one dribble.
That's the other thing. She's been doing a really good job when she's had the opportunity to push and make plays and find people. A lot of people know her as a scorer. So I would love that if they don't make any changes to the starting lineup, just to kind of just tweak that just a little bit. Let Taylor be the primary ball handler. That way, I also like Christy kind of better as that sniper role, that assassin, versus coming off the screens and whatnot. Where I know she can do it, and sometimes just because somebody can do something, don't mean they need to. And I think the team will be better. They let Taylor run the thing, and Christy coming off the screens is things that it changed things a lot for how you. Again, we still got to see how things look with Emma, but they're in a good place after 15 games. And I just want to really give credit to just that 3-person group on the bench, man. They've been so consistent all year.
Yeah, really, Tiana Hawkins, she don't get enough praise, man. She's had a little, having a child, and
concussion
trying to come back, concussion, trying to come back and everything. And she's came back. She's a monster. Without her, I don't know.
And then the thing I love is when she comes in is you don't have to take Della down off the floor if she comes in, because Tiana's one of those. She's a nice stretch 4 for them, except she likes to bang. And the other thing I like when she comes in is she's probably their best screen setter, which is huge when you have those physical type games and the offense gets stagnant, cutters are getting bumped. She sets those solid screens so these shooters get loose, and I think that's something why sometimes when Ivory and company come in, Ivory's able to get space coming on those other sides of those Tiana screens. And I mean, Ivory doesn't always need it. She has her burst back.
But then I like Hawkins when she's aggressive. I
Yes.
think that's when she messes up, when she's thinking, and she get the ball and go. And, she hasn't been stopped yet, so respect to her.
Yeah, definitely good problems they have. 10-5 through 15 games.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
I say, oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely great problems to have. I mean, you just got together, and again, like Ivory was saying, from a chemistry standpoint, they know they're nowhere close to where they need to be at. Like she was saying, she's excited to see what they can do. Like they don't even know yet, but they're 10-5. This road trip is going to be important because they've been struggling on the road. I do think having Emma coming back is going to help a little bit. As you said with Emma, we talked in the car the other day just with Emma and Deladon, they can both play inside, outside. But just having another, like Emma's been kind of a steadying hand at times in the past couple years. And with that offense being kind of stagnant, I think having Emma the other night against the Liberty probably would have helped that starting unit out a little bit.
Just open that floor real good for them.
And that's the other thing. Now you can't trap anybody, you can't blitz anybody. You really can't send a double on Deladon. And then even if you're playing the Liberty, do you take Tina off of Emma? These are questions you got to ask how you defend them when Emma and Elena are both out there. So I like Ivory, you as well. Definitely looking forward to see what they do going forward. Moving on to the Wizards real quick, and then we'll get into Cardell got a whole lot planned for you guys. I can't wait for it, which is kind of disturbing. We already got into it already before the show started because that's what happens here. Donnell, you held things down for us for the focus last week at the Tim Frazier. His official introduction. You just want to share your thoughts on how that went? Just give us some insight.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was just a typical, introductory press conference. But from the few moments, I think it lasted, 15, 20 minutes. He was very, laid back, seemed comfortable, with the trade. Obviously, it's caught him off guard, whatever, of course. Now we've seen the landscape of the NBA right now. All these trades is catching everybody off guard. But, I mean, he just really seemed like he was ready to play his role. Obviously, we think he's going back up John at this point. And, he seems really comfortable with that. And I think the biggest takeaway that I got from him was he's just hungry, man. Like, he's ready to come in here and grind and grit and not be one of those diva guards that's coming in here to do everything, like score and everything off the bench. Like, he's definitely here to get rebounds, set up the offense, play some defense. He's not gonna blow you away with his stats. You can all the analytics and all that. He's not gonna do that for you. But he's definitely here to be that glue guy and be consistent. I think that's what they've been missing here in DC.
Yeah, we've been talking about that since last year training camp. Just addressing that position. And I just think a lot of people want sexy names, big splash signings. Literally, you need somebody to do their job. And if he does his job well, that means John gets the rest. It's literally that simple. It doesn't need to be 12, 15 points a game, but we've seen at times he has the ability to go off. But I think the biggest thing that stands out for me, he's a winner. You need dudes like that around. They're willing to do whatever. You need somebody that we were just talking about defense a little while ago, somebody that looks forward to providing resistance to offensive players. A lot of talented guards out here. If you got somebody come in and set the tone, will continue the tone that's set by their starter on both offense and defense, that significantly affects how the second unit, conducts business. So you guys got any thoughts on that before we move on? Mike?
I
As a
think
resident Wizards fan?
I think it's a good trade. He's probably the best backup point guard they've had in a while. Since the Andre Miller trade, I guess 4 years ago.
Yeah.
But this is a dude who comes in, he comes in, he sets up offense. He's consistent, right? That was a big thing that you just touched on. Yeah. He's versatile, and he can start if needed. He started some last year in New Orleans and was really good in that role. This is exactly what they needed. Like you said, their downfall this year was not being able to provide some type of scoring punch or some type of consistent offense off of the bench. And Tim Frazier probably isn't going to be some, huge scorer for them or off the bench or anything like that. But as far as just getting things set up and being able to run things consistently and generate things consistently, he can definitely do that for you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching The Focus. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, going to pretty much have the longest edition of Rapid Fire ever. I think it's safe to say, but we're going to get into these free agency topics and stuff keeps happening. Oklahoma City's trying to get reaching out to CJ Miles. Trying to, get Paul George a buddy. Maybe
He's still
he'll
breathing.
stay. We'll see what happens.
He
But-
got a
They
post.
cool.
He got a post.
Huh?
They cool.
I don't know. That's fair to wonder. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You watching The Focus. Welcome back to The Focus. Cardell, the floor is yours, man. The longest edition of Rapid Fire here.
Man, yeah,
Ready for it, man.
A lot has happened this
Let's
week.
go, man.
Need your answers, need your thoughts on things. Mr. Phil Jackson, man, A lot of New Yorkers are happy he finally got the axe. Do y'all feel like it's overdue? Do you feel like it's all his fault? Is it James Dolan? What's your thoughts on it?
My first thought was when this happened, right? It came after the Kristaps stuff. Like he was trying to putting Kristaps in trade talks. So I'm like, were you trying to get fired? Because that's kind of what it felt like to me. Like this to me, even though he just got the last 2 years on his option picked up, I felt like this was going to happen because he was putting Porzingis in trade talks. Like you don't do that with your franchise cornerstone. That's ridiculous. And so it felt like that was the final straw.
Yeah, man, I totally echo those sentiments, man. Like you definitely Melo, like your best players, you were definitely just throwing them to the fire. Like who are you gonna keep at this point? Like, I mean, who's gonna be the cornerstone of the franchise?
Derrick Rose.
Nobody, right? Derrick Rose, like, come on, like Calderon, like I don't know who he was thinking, like was gonna like anybody he's drafting this year, or I don't get it. So I think everybody was just in a big state of confusion. Nobody knew his direction. The Porzingis draft pick, people were going off on that, and it actually turned out well. So it actually looked like it was a turning point for him to stay in New York, and then he's putting him in trade talks. So we were totally lost on it, and then I think it's just a breath of fresh air right now for New Yorkers.
That's the thing about Phil in New York, right? Like he's done some okay things, right? Like he got Porzingis there. Right, which is like a huge thing for a team like that. But like when you get off the court and all this drama with Melo and now Porzingis, like you gotta go, dude. Coming down and trying to make your coach the triangle. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's not your role anymore.
For sure.
I mean, for Porzingis, you ain't lying. Like I was at the draft when he got drafted, in New York. I mean, it was. I've never seen nothing like that type of boom. And I'm serious, like dudes literally after they made that pick, they better not draft that soft European like New York, and they drafted them. And they was like, man, they got up and left. I'm like, so I asked my man, like, how much money you pay for the tickets? I paid $80, but it don't matter. They left. I'm like, y'all tripping. I'm staying. Like if I pay them, I'm staying. But Porzingis from day one, he's like, I'll make them cheer for me soon enough, and then that's what happened. So that tells you he's built for that. I mean, it's called professionalism. A lot of, athletes, they say it starts at the top from the ownership, it trickles on down. Leadership, professionalism. There's no reason to throw your players under the bus, even if you got drama with them. They can say what they want. You still handle it the right way because guess what? Other players are watching. So why would you do that? And I might be like, I might go to New York, the market's good. Then you like, man, I don't even trust management. And with that, the work ethic, man, you got to stay in the gyms. Like, I'm always around. I'm always in the gym. So I see a lot of the same scouts. I see a lot of guys that really make that pay me. Jerry West is a legend for doing that. That's how he uncovered so many gems, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Kobe, back then, he wasn't seen as what he became. That was a long shot. So you got to put that work in. You can't be falling asleep doing the draft workout. You can't be unprepared when, you're trying to get a free agent. You can't get your computer to work. That should already be set up, ready to go. Hit play. It's just little things that I know he knows better. So to your point, when you seem like he wanted to get fired, maybe he just Because at the beginning, remember when he first was talking to him, he was saying, I didn't really even want to come back in the NBA. I was done with it. And, you know, when people tell you and show you who they are, you need to believe them. I think Dolan ain't really like, man, I'll give him enough money. He'll be all right. And Phil's like, okay, I'll take the millions. I'll take the 60. And then you saw the action. And it's just, you know, sad with the franchise. Because really, if he would have been more invested, maybe they could have got some more pieces where they could be more competitive instead of just Porzingis so mad he don't even want to talk to y'all at the X and B now. And let me go back to my home country because it's like a season been wasted. So it's just a lot of unnecessary drama, and I think professionalism should go both ways and not be just demanded from the players.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dumpster fire. Probably shouldn't have been hired. Said he didn't want to do it. Should have listened. The good news is, at least he's gone. You kept Porzingis, so you did some damage control, I guess. But it should never got this bad. I mean, hey. I have nothing else. Not a Knicks fan.
Moving on. Chris Paul
Used to be.
traded to the Houston Rockets. A lot of people don't feel like, you know, they both playmakers. Will it even work? Do y'all think it will work in the backcourt?
I feel like it'll work.
Okay.
Just because the simple fact that they wanted to play together.
Right.
You know, so I mean, both of them obviously are coming in with expectations like they'll have to share the ball one way or another. And you know, we felt the same way about the Heat, right? When they got Brown and D Wade together, right? They were both ball handlers. Neither of them could shoot. How is it supposed to work? It ended up working out. They won titles from it. I don't think the Rockets will win titles or anything like that, but I do think you know, they can be a productive pair. They're both really good players, so I expect them to make it work.
What I would say is adding somebody like a Chris Paul, a Hall of Famer, to your team is always gonna make your team better. I don't care who you add, like, and Chris Paul being the great point guard that he is of all time, like, that's definitely gonna make your team better. Like, it doesn't matter who's playing in one, who's playing in two, whatever. Obviously, James Harden's played more too in his career, but you add Chris Paul in the mix, he's definitely gonna find a way to make it work out. And I think the pace is obviously the concern here. Everybody's worried about the pace. Chris Paul is older. He's 32 or whatever, 33 right now, so he's slowing down a bit. But I still think, regardless of that, Chris Paul, especially when the crunch time comes and everything slows down, especially in the playoffs, you're going to need somebody like Chris Paul. So I think it's definitely going to work out. And, I mean, are we talking about Warriors here or something? I don't know if we're talking about beating the Warriors. Obviously, they're the juggernauts right now, but they're definitely in the mix right now, for sure.
Yeah. Initially, I didn't like it. Read some comments from James Harden saying that he's looking forward to playing off ball, kind of back in the OKC days. And like Mike said, if they want to play together, then obviously there's some discussion has had to have been had before this point. They're very talented. I think they can work it out. You know, they'll be a top team in the West, you know, but that's just what we're talking about. I still feel how I feel about the NBA. I felt before, but I initially didn't like the pick, not gonna lie. I initially didn't like when they initially traded. I was like, nah, what are they doing? Then it's kind of like, oh yeah, he did kind of play off the ball in OKC. So
about that, like when he was in OKC, I feel like his best role was actually on the ball still.
Now I know that's why I'm
with
like
Eric Maynard, though. You know what I mean? Like I think he'll have to make an adjustment regardless, but I do feel like he'll be able to do it.
I mean, that's the only reason I'm okay with it, because I was like very against it initially, because I'm like, what are you going to do off ball? Like, you're really dangerous with the ball. But, I mean, if he's talking like that already, who am I to say, you know, him and Chris had a conversation, I'm not there for him. So,
I mean, I definitely think it could work. And like I said, I think a lot of people feel like they box players into a certain role. They don't realize how good these players are. They can be versatile. James was a scorer in college. James, for a lot of the OKC, I know Eric Maynard was there, but for a lot of that, he was off the ball scoring. When he first got to Houston, he was off the ball scoring. I think Chris Paul would make his job even easier to score, where you won't see him flame out like he did in that, you know, the last game. You know, when the fatigue, you know, like, you see what I'm saying? So, and it's dangerous because what are you going to do off ball? Well, he's one of the most crafty players in the league. He can move without the ball. He can shoot. You know, he could play a la Clay role. Except he can handle. So if he get the ball in ice and you close out quick, he gone. He's shaking you up. He going to the basket. That's why it's real dangerous And then Mike D'Antoni's system with Chris Paul, as any point guard, man, running up and down, just making plays, that's a dream for them. Especially with all the shooters they have. They have athleticism up front, Harrell, what's the other big Capella and all those guys. That's lobs. I mean, and what people don't understand, out of everybody outside the Spurs, Houston gave the Warriors the most trouble without Chris Paul. You know, like they actually went in there, the first team went in there and beat them. Because they can hang with them scoring-wise. The defense was the problem. So I'm not saying they're going to beat them in the series, but adding Chris Paul definitely, you know, it's still a big gap, but it definitely closes that gap a little bit. They still need more pieces, obviously, but you know, I love the move, man. That's what they, you know, great players. And I think Chris Paul is at the stage now where he can care less. He's 32, 33, man. At this stage, it's about winning. Because he know in a few years he's on his way out. So why even come in there trying to put my chest out as my team? It's just nonsense. So.
Anybody that talks pace, like, because I know a lot of people are not liking it because they think Chris Paul's going to slow the pace down and all this other stuff, or that argument. Like, do we forget Nash? Like, he wasn't the fastest guard or the quickest guard. Like, Nash won 2 MVPs off of that system. Like, Chris Paul, I believe, is a better point guard than Steve Nash if we're going to have that argument. And I think this is going to be perfect for him.
Wasn't Nash older than 32? I don't remember.
He might have
exactly
even been older
than
Chris Paul at this
but
point.
he was on the back end though. I'm pretty sure. So
I think it's going to be a crazy just them working together is going to be ridiculous. Like that's going to be a crazy tandem for the league right now. It's going to be a problem.
The only last I want to add was just with the trade is like I know you got Chris Paul. They got to address some of their bench, like some of the pieces they lost on the bench.
Yeah.
I didn't like their bench. Like I like their bench a lot. You know, you lost Montrez, you lost Decker, you lost Lou Williams. So you got to address those things. But again,
still got 6-man there. Gordon.
Yeah,
True.
Yeah. When you're talking
Need
about
one more though. Need one more. Needs at least one more.
I'm not knocking. I'm just saying like they literally had like a mob of dudes coming off the bench.
Yeah.
You know, now that's down to like Eric and you know you got to add people to Eric. So
yeah, very true.
Mohamed Bamba, top 3 prospect in the country, signed to Texas, 7'1", projected to be a top 3 pick next year if he chooses to come out. His brother reported him to the NCAA saying he accepted illegal benefits. I got some strong thoughts, but y'all go ahead and start.
I feel like you should start because
we might get cut off.
Hey, look, I feel like you
That's
can
whack,
have my time to talk as well because I feel like you gonna speak for the both of us, and I'm willing to step out there. Cardell speaking for Cardell and Wilson.
I mean, I think he was a Kobe, you know, somebody.
We on the same page.
And, I mean, I do that. And you know, I've covered Bamba in many tournaments, AAU, all that, and I've never even seen his brother there. I've seen the guy that's kind of guided him when he, you know, left Harlem to get a better education and all that stuff like that and pursue basketball. His family trusted his guardian, so to speak. I've obviously seen his family in the stands with his coach. I've never even seen his brother. Like I didn't even know he had an older brother. So, and for your brother to be on the verge of not just accomplishing his goal, but really changing the fortunes of your entire family, and you trying to stop that out of jealousy or because, you know, the whole family basically blackballed you because you're trying to use him to gain your own little thing, trying to be his agent and everything, but you're trying to like navigate stuff for you instead of really caring for your younger brother, which is what you should be doing. Like as older brother, like man, stay focused, man. Forget that girl. You had time for that. Keep your head in the books. You messing up. I mean, you trying to damage that is just ignorant. And, you know, it's foul. And then putting them on Facebook post live, man, it just even makes it look.
Part.
I want to say the N word, but I can't. You know, we trying to. Man, look, it's a lot of things I really want to say, but he needs, you know, truthfully, he needs to be checked in a physical matter. Let's just say that, and it's just ignorant, man. And the thing about Bamba, it's just not basketball, man. He's borderline genius. He's real smart. It's the reason why he chose Texas over Kentucky and Duke, because they had a tech program that he wants to pursue after basketball. Have tech come, like say he's thinking that far ahead, so he's gonna literally possibly be a mogul one day, and you want to damage that already because of jealousy or because you can't get a few bucks right now off of his name and stuff like that, being his agent. And that goes to show you, I mean, Nas said it best. He said, it's not your enemy who gets you, it's always your own people. And you really got to pay close attention. I'm glad he's smart enough to recognize that early. And it seemed like they're ahead of the curve because Texas like, right, we already checked that. He's good to go. NCAA cleared him. So, and it kind of already starting to be, you know, going brushed under the rug, so to speak. But, I mean, it don't get no more foul than that, man. It's just sickening.
Yeah, man, I have nothing to say.
Yeah,
other than,
I
like,
that.
honestly, that's just the craziest situation I've ever heard. Like, how are you not happy for your own blood? Like, especially what you just said, that can change your whole fortune, like, of the family, and, like, financially you could be secure, and, you know, all of that stuff. And at the end of the day, you're still gonna get your shine. Like, if that's what you're worried about, like, when he becomes huge, he's going to D1 school, a very, like you said, big in books and all that, like scholarships and everything. And then you're gonna be seen all the time. You're on TV all day long. They have their own network, so I don't see what the problem is.
Egos.
Egos.
Dude should be getting paid anyway.
Hey, look, I'm not even in that.
So-
Cardell, I believe you got everything. So
I mean, it is what it is, man. Like I'm sorry. There's nothing really to say. Like it's just, why would you do that to your brother? You know what I mean? Like your brother, honestly, is probably owed this anyway, and you just tried to ruin everything for him because he wasn't about to set you up. Like, that's selfish. It's wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
He gonna be looking like Lala from He Got Game. When draft day comes, he gonna be in the back like everybody gonna be celebrating. Like, be at home in that little raggedy pool, same thing. I mean, it's just, but that's karma, man. And I like how Bomb ain't even addressed. I'm working, dog. Y'all see next time, during the season what goes down. So it is what it is.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I know OKC just had a great trade with Paul George, but they were also, before that, pursuing free agent Rudy Gay. Would that have been a fit, or is it possible still good fit? You know what I'm saying? They still need more pieces to rumble with the Warriors.
I would like it. I mean, it doesn't bother me. Rudy's bigger than, I think, like the list of height, 1, 2. He can play the stretch 4.
Yep.
And that's the part that I like a lot, because we all know Paul said many times he doesn't want to play the 4. So if you get Rudy, he doesn't have to play the 4. Everyone can be happy. You can also play him at the 2 and the 3 side by side at times, depending on how you want to do things. And it gives you some of that Warrior-like versatility from a defensive side of things, where you can switch length on length, where that's the biggest issue, where everybody's switching is not like the Warriors, because they're literally switching arms and legs and feet, feet that move well all the time. Like, if you switch, you got Clay on, you switch. Here's KD. You switch KD. Here comes Dre. You switch that. If Sean's on the court, here's Livingston. So like you said, everyone's trying to catch up to them. I wouldn't stop pursuing him at all, because the other thing, he can shoot. He's a scorer, been a scorer all his life. You need more of those on the court. And to beat the Warriors, those are the type of pieces that would help you.
Yes.
So I would probably turn up the pressure more. I know I shared the CJ Miles thing earlier, and no disrespect to CJ Miles, I would take that energy and go to Rudy Gay and figure out what I need. Because if the last thing you want is, say you get CJ Miles and Golden State loses Iguodala and they end up with Rudy Gay.
Right.
That's the last thing you don't want, because if they end up with Rudy Gay, now that I'm not saying that really rules out your Paul George move, but it gives them a lineup where you can add Rudy, Kevin, Dre, and Sean, and all types of fun stuff that you wouldn't enjoy. So again, if you're thinking ahead, because it's chess not checkers, you want to make sure that they don't get something like that. You need to go ahead and buckle that down right now. Like, Rudy's one of those guys. I know we got the Gordon Haywards out there and things like that, and I know he's coming off an injury. That's one of those guys, if I'm a team in the West, you talking about with Harden and Chris Paul earlier, right?
Right.
You need length to deal with those type of dudes, especially Harden. You need to go, like, somebody needs to get that deal done with him ASAP. I know they said 4 teams are looking at OKC's one of them. So, yeah, if I'm OKC, I do that ASAP.
Yeah, I just don't know how they do it, though, because they're capped out, though. Like,
I mean,
that's the thing. Like, I don't know. Like, they'll have to give up something to get him. And it depends, for me, what they're going to give up out of that. And it's not like they don't have, like, a murderer's row of talent, right? Like, that's kind of why Russ just won MVP, because he did everything for them. So Rudy would be a good fit, I think. But, like, I just feel like you have to find the right piece to move to be able to do that, and I just don't know what it is.
And if you're asking me, I'd much rather have them somebody coming off the bench, like get them a role player that can come off the bench, especially a guard. Like I feel like they are in desperate need of that. Like Russ, I know know he's the man. Like I know he's superhuman and all this other stuff with the with all these commercials and dancing on Instagram and stuff. Like he's the man. We get it, but he's gonna run down eventually at some point. Like you have to have somebody there that's gonna back him up. Like that's gonna give him at least a few minutes just to chill, to relax on the bench. Like I know he's an Energizer Bunny and all that, but I'd much rather have that for them than to add another wing guy.
Well, I think I would try to do it. I think now you're in the era because of what the Warriors have done. You might have to pay some of that luxury tax to compete. It's just you got to get talent, or you really just playing the play. Like you really have no shot because they're so deep. I know they drafted Terrence Ferguson. That's the kind of guy they want to mold to be that next, shooting guard. He's a 6'7", really athletic. He already shoot. And one thing with having Paul George, he can play point forward. Like I think a lot of people think when you play point guard, you come up, you'll run off it. Sometimes the rest is just bringing the ball up, and Russ can just roll up and just sit in the corner a little bit, take a break. You know what I'm saying? Then initiate the offense, like get in the offense whatsoever. So that can help ways. But last year, like you said, it was no hope. Like he had to do it all. So I think it would help. And just picture this: Enes Kanter, all right, he don't defend, but he can score with the best of them. Adams is a garbage man. We know that he do the dirty work, but that's still 7 feet. That's still 6'11". Then if you add Paul George was 6'8", 6'9", or 6'10", and then Rudy Gay 6'9". Then you got Russ. That's a big versatile lineup. Like that's dangerous. You see what I'm saying? So. And then all you need is your bench to come in, fill the roles. Like that lineup can mess up a few things. Not saying they can stop the Warriors, but the Warriors can't just do what they want. You see what I'm saying? So and then you got guys that's versatile that can do multiple things, and it's not just like, all right, he's just a shooter or he's just dumb. And then you still got like Jeremy Grant coming out. You still got Taj Gibson. I'm looking at the
Taj probably.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like you still got people to give them rest when they need it. So. I do agree with the point guard, situation, but who knows? Somebody might pop up, be a free agent, or maybe somebody's Christian, or they might get somebody from Summer League that can just come and just spell Russell some minutes.
Mm-hmm. They need somebody.
But they need more pieces.
One guard.
Paul George, that's good. Don't get it to it. That's moving in the right direction, but that ain't enough.
Nah.
We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we saying.
Yep.
Chip Kelly.
Hey, my man Chip.
My guy.
Yeah.
Former head coach for the 49ers had high praise for Kaepernick, saying he wasn't a distraction, he's a talent, a leader, and was a hard worker. Had nothing negative to say about him. And this is Chip Kelly, went to war with McCoy, all them guys in Philly.
Yeah, Chip Kelly didn't like black people. Right?
But he liked this one. And he pretty much saying what everybody's saying, confirming like, the NFL on some BS right now with this guy because he should be signed to Russell. But really, what does this say about the NFL that the head coach, who's had so much controversy with players, back this guy up who's surrounded by so much controversy unfairly?
It just is what I've been saying the entire time. Like at some point, and we've talked about it several times, and I went on a rant several times. We're not going today. Like at some point, fundamentally, it's beyond wrong. Like it's wrong. You just got to stop it. We can't do the numbers games because he excels. He wins that too. Character, exceptional. Brains, got those. So standing up for black people. That, however, not here, can't have. I don't get it. We just watched Mike Glennon get money. We watched Mitch. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'll leave him alone. Brian Hoyer just got bread. Okay, these are starters. Okay, you look at the Redskins right now, and then I know it's got nothing to do with Cap, but Kirk Cousins sitting around like these dudes getting paid. I can't get money. Like there's not that much talent at that position in the league. Let's keep it a buck. And no matter how I feel about Kirk, there's not that many people. So
and he earned it. He deserved it.
And he earned it. Yeah, and he earned it. But again, going back to just things that you earn, because Kirk, like Cap, doesn't have any off the field issues, right? Just played. This is somebody who's led playoff teams, championship games, Super Bowl, all the things that like if you take away if you put a picture up, you take them away, you be like, yeah, I want that guy. Why not? We had Pete Carroll do the whole thing where we don't want him because it's too much competition for
that
us.
was so much
But
BS.
you the main one. The stigma like for the Seahawks is we breed competition except that quarterback, fam. Like I'm not here for any of it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. The
But-
whole Pete Carroll thing.
I mean, because I feel like I don't want to say this again. This is my personal opinion. It has nothing to do from anything nobody told me, anything like that. My personal opinion. I feel like that was one. Like it was just a favor to the league. You knew you didn't want them. You weren't gonna have them. It's just to shut some people up for a little while. But I do think what's gonna end up happening is because karma's karma, life is life. Someone's gonna get knocked out one of these games, and some of these trash quarterbacks that got jobs right now, you gonna look down your bench and be like, nah. And it's just a matter of time.
Your job on the line. The
Yeah.
I was like,
It's
losing.
real. It's a
Captain,
coach.
come on.
A coach is gonna be there, and they're gonna be like, so somebody got Colin number.
Exactly.
Because you can look down the bench and be like, nah, I ain't doing that. Like if this is my job on the line, I ain't going out. It's gonna be real interesting because all the things about can't read defense, all this other stuff. Man, he's on a list with Tom Brady. He's
That's
tied
stereotype
with the
crap.
least
He let us
interception rate since they've been in the league. And we love Tom Brady, right? We goat Tom Brady, right? Crown Tom Brady. And I'm not knocking Tom at any bit, but I'm just simply saying if somebody else, like some marginal quarterback, did anything like Tom Brady, people sweat it and go crazy. This dude's actually like it's actually something that matters. That's like Tom. He don't turn the ball over. I don't care what sport you play. That's a skill, which means you have to know what you're doing to avoid turnovers. We just gotta stop it, man. It's just garbage. But I'm just gonna chill and just wait to see what happens because it's football. People gonna get hurt. I just wish people would stop this whole like. All I see on Twitter is people running out of left field to defend stuff they don't know. And people talk about money and all this other stuff. For 10 seconds, it is 2017. We got all this information at our fingertips. You can't find a quote anywhere from this kid where he said anything about money because he hasn't. No one's talked to him because he's essentially been blackballed. So that's why you can't find a quote. That's why you can't find any of these magical things that you're using in these fantastical defenses for things that don't exist. Because he hasn't done any of these horrible things. Well, yeah, he wore socks with pigs on them. Right. He was going down that road towards having a voice since he'd been with the Niners.
And
It's just
still happening with the cops.
This is all it's about. It's about the patriotism and speaking out against law enforcement, and those are two things that in this country
It's
it's
racist
not
system.
happening.
That's all what it
It's
is.
not happening. You can't do it, and he did it. Now he's paying the price, and it's really unfortunate. Like this guy has, if we're talking about prototypical everything that the NFL loves, then gushes over, he has it. Like the size, the body type, the speed, athleticism. Like he can, if you don't want him at quarterback, fine. He can play another position in the NFL. I'm convinced.
You don't have to.
Nah,
He
but
doesn't
he's
been
been
to a Super Bowl as a quarterback.
That's what,
Exactly.
but that's what I'm saying. Like even if you don't bring him to camp as a quarterback,
Nah, but
like
my
you
whole
don't
thing
think
is
he
it's
has
no
it up
it's-
here
for me,
to
it's
do
no
it.
for me, it's no
you
even.
can find a place for
You
him
could
on
take
a
his
roster.
resume
It's
right
53
now
people.
and find 15 quarterbacks that haven't done what he done. Like
For
right
sure.
now.
For sure.
Like 15 starters right now.
Bottom
Just
line, the
stop.
NFL is the good old boy.
gotta
That's
stop.
him in baseball, the
I'm
good
done.
old boy league.
I'm done. Bro.
Like,
I'm done. I'm not. I'm serious. I'm not
You
watching.
gotta-
I'm
you gotta
not
Seriously,
watching.
and that's what it is, because it has nothing to do with his ability. Matter of fact, money. He's giving away millions to help people.
Right.
And then secondly, you go back to money, right? Remember when I was making a big deal about his contract because everybody thought he was getting paid too much, and it turned out to be a whole bunch of monopoly money, and he's still giving money away. Because again, if you were playing, and that's the other thing, he's smart. He playing for all this being an option for just in case, and he's still giving money away, and y'all still discrediting this man for what?
Right.
Like for what?
Because he spoke up for black people. Like I said, I'm really done. Like I'm not watching the
And
NFL
the
next
thing
year.
is, he's right. Look at what's still going on.
It's
Well, they
still
proved his
it's not
point.
going
All
to
this
stop.
proves
Look at
his
the
point.
fool in office. I say, look at the fool in office. Like, I mean, come on, man. This dude spent more time saying dumb stuff on Twitter than actually doing his job running the country. And you worried about this guy taking a knee? He didn't even say nothing. He just took a knee. Doing it like until y'all address the injustices in our community and this messed up system, I'm not going to acknowledge that thing. Whatever.
It doesn't
I'm not
represent
going to
what it
acknowledge
does.
that because it don't represent us from the get-go. It wasn't even written for us.
To be honest, of some of the stuff that I've seen, like protesting wise, like this is the most mild and like meek stuff that I've seen from protesting. If you're gonna protest the police and protest all these injustices, like what'd he do? He knelt. Like that was it. Like he took a knee.
Nothing is what he's doing it for.
That's
like it's
it.
literally that. He hasn't done
Or he
anything.
wore socks. Like
he
that was
hasn't
maybe
done
that was the
anything else
most
outside of that.
outlandish thing he did was wear the pig socks. But
it's
other
what
than
he-
that, he didn't
it's
use
what
any
he's
foul
doing it for.
language. He didn't. He's setting a great example for you. But I guess that's not what the NFL's
That's what
about.
he's doing for him. Like, it's literally that. What else is there? Like, we're at a point right now you can't point to anything else. It's who he's doing it for. In the story. There's the last thing they want is that whole league to get on that movement, and it's a wrap. Because that's the end of money for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Wizards offered John Wall 4 years, $168 million, but he said he would take some time to sign.
Smart man. Smart man.
Yeah.
Smart man.
For sure.
Smart
For
man.
sure.
Smart man.
Got to.
Yeah.
I think he ultimately ends up doing it just because you've had multiple knee surgeries in your career, and it's 100.
No guarantee.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of money to pass up.
He should do it, or he is going to do it.
I think he is going to do it
Okay.
at some point. I don't know when it'll be, but it's on the table for the next year since they offered it already. So, I mean, I think it's smart to wait on it and see what the Wizards do, see what the roster looks like going into next season. He should definitely keep his options open, but I do ultimately think he's going to sign it though.
I mean, one thing with me, my second favorite who played growing up was Kevin Garnett, and I saw him with that franchise really waste a lot of his career not getting on the piece. And even when he did get the pieces, they want to re-sign the guys to keep him there. So he played the majority of his career on mediocre teams and got killed for it. And then they almost got to a point he was about to retire and never really had a chance to win a ring. So he had to be, they was like, we just gonna blow this thing up, man. They forced him out to go to Boston, but not. I don't want to see that with Wall. Like, Wall has been here. Like, man, he was drafted with all that pressure following the Gilbert Arena stuff. Didn't fold, didn't leave when it was ugly, and got him one game from the Eastern Conference Finals with really him and Bill, complimentary fours, whatever, no bench, a new coach. That tells you his worth, man. But I get what he's doing because there's been some questionable draft picks and moves over his career where it's like, what are you doing? I go back to Jan Vesely every time. I know disrespect. Every time I see Kawhi play, I get mad. You drafted Jan Vesely or Kawhi. Like, that would, I mean, Kawhi, Bill, and Wall, let's rumble. Cleveland, like, let's for real. It's just certain things just like, man, come on, bud. That's in the past, But he's basically putting the pressure on Ernie, like, I need to see what you're going to do. Because I'm not about to waste my career here. And, Gar's career, he's in his prime now. So, it's 4 years. So, if he signed now, he'd be 27 or whatever September. He'd be here till he's 31. And then what? Just going to the second round, getting knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have it. But the injury thing do play a role because if he wait and he get hurt, we're going to be looking at, look, we got to take some of that money and years off that contract, then it's going to get ugly. So it's a gamble, but I understand. He's putting the pressure on Ernie. Like, I did my job last year. I came back, knee surgery, both knees. We went to work. We got to the playoffs. We did damage. It's y'all turn. So let's see what you do.
That's what I read something in the post. They posted. They had something yesterday. Basically to the same point. They were just like, this is the off season. Like, this one here is going to determine what's going on with John. Like, he loves it. He loves the city. He loves the organization. Loves the fans. All that. He's happy here. Y'all got to show me something. So,
right.
I mean,
yeah, don't bury Sanders and KG me. Just have me here selling tickets.
They got to come through, or I think it's gonna get ugly, man. I think it's gonna get ugly.
So no, Brian, I'm with all you guys. You take some time. I love what you brought up, Mike, about taking in consideration the knees, the injuries to the knees, because there's a lot of money. You don't want to pass it up, like you said, Cardell. Like, that's a really big part of this. But at the same time, I would definitely hedge my bets, just chill a little bit, not be too eager, and kind of just by waiting, you're doing it without saying anything, putting pressure on, like, y'all need to get this right. Y'all need to get this together. And every day that you wait, and all these moves that keeps happening, like, it's the Wild Wild West, right? Like, right now in the NBA, and rules don't matter. Like, logic is thrown out the window right now. We've been seeing this in free agency and some trades already. Washington can't afford to lose John Wall, period.
Truthfully, they can't afford to lose anybody.
Yeah.
Right. Really him, but they can't afford. Like, even Portland, I'm like, y'all lose him.
Yeah, and even that, like, messing around with that, you playing with fire right now. Because the way this thing is turning and that thing's loading up over there, like, who's to say in a year they don't do the WNBA thing and the conferences go, and who have, the top teams make the playoffs. That happens. You know what that does at the Eastern Conference? You know what I'm saying? And again, which again goes back to pressure and making sure you guys get stuff together. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, right here on The Focus, we're going to finish things up. We still got more questions, more dialogue. You're watching The Focus. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, Cardell, what do you have left for us, man? We got about 10 more minutes left in today's show.
We can speed. I can try to fit as much as I can in. One that I saw that kind of made me happy, but made me mad. Oakland waiting to give Khalil Mack a new contract. Now, obviously, I'm a Broncos fan, so that makes me feel good. So it helps my quarterback. So, but at the end of the day, I love his game, and just me, watching that don't make sense. Outside the car, that's your franchise. So, what do you guys think?
I think the only reason they're doing it, because I'm with you, typically that doesn't make any sense at all. I think the reason they're doing it is they want him to get to that next level, like unlock that next level.
Like Vaughn.
Yeah, I think that's literally it. That's the goal is you get this next level, you get that Vaughn bread, that bag that Vaughn got is yours. And it's like, wow, you can get it back now. Don't you want Vaughn's bag? Like you have a chance this year right here to go out, terrorize the AFC. Maybe take down your beloved Broncos in the process.
Stop playing these games.
Right? I said maybe.
Stick to the NFC.
And look, for the record, I said maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe do that. Like if they're able to do something like that, right? And capitalize on this big year where they got Marshawn and everybody here. Another step forward for this young team. And if he could hit that next level, you just break the bank. He knows y'all gonna pay him anyways. Like I think that's a foregone conclusion. I think it's just a motivation thing. Like Derek got that money because Derek went otherworldly last year. So kind of like you go there, you get it too. At least to me, I don't know. I don't see it like as a business ploy or anything. I just think it's motivation to get a young pup some money. Either way.
That's a dangerous game though, because it's the NFL, bro.
But the good thing is like with the NFL, it's not that like you can always tag somebody. What I'm saying?
No, I'm talking about for him from his perspective. You know what I mean? Like it's different gambling on yourself in the NFL than it is in any other league, just simply because it's so physical. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, it is like it's definitely a dangerous game if you're talking about that. But we don't have too many. He's top 3, right? We talking about pass rushers, and that's putting it top 5. Yeah. We gonna bump him down a little bit. He's not top 3.
He's still young. Okay. I'm not gonna crown him yet. He's not where he's supposed to be at.
I think he's top 3. I think he's top 3, man.
He's top 3.
I think he's
the Hall of Fame.
I think he's really elite. I think he's really elite. I think he really. They better stop playing around with him and give him his money. That's where I'm at with it. One
thing about dudes, man, you gotta be careful. Keep playing games. Guys are highly motivated, and you don't know what can happen down the road. What if down the road you playing these games and the page is like, man, we give you all the money you want. I'm going to that organization and I'm out. Y'all play these games, okay? It happens every so often. You wonder, and then it's just like how you lose him, and it sets your franchise back. Take care of your own. Like, that matters.
Do they have any other franchise tag-worthy players, or is he just it?
The plan was to do Derek, then do Khalil, and then I think they got Gabe Jackson already. Like, those 3 got to get paid no matter what. Within this season and next season.
Okay.
So just the order that they did it. Derek already got his big bag.
So, he'll get it, right?
Yeah, he's going to get it.
He's going to get it, but it's just, I guess it's just a question of how.
No, I think he's going to get paid. I just think it's literally just like some motivation behind it.
What's the timeline?
Yeah, they could have broke him off this year. Like, they got it. Like, they playing for it.
Reading the joint, they doing Gabe now. They working on Gabe or whatever. And they just said we'll hold all, wait on Khalil. And I'm just like, all right.
I think Khalil's probably going to get paid the most out of all of them.
Well, Elway. They keep playing They all a nice bag. Come over there with Mo, baby. Von Miller, we good, baby. Stay within the division. You good. Keep your house in Oakland.
Oh, wow.
We got you. Hey,
this guy here, I see where you at. Next question. That's where you at? You want both of them?
Hey, they keep playing games. I'm just one bold. All right. David West said on the Open Run podcast that he didn't think the NBA these days were soft. He said the rules had to adjust to the physical nature of the players. The game is so skilled now, you have to start asking questions. Could guys of the past who were unskilled play in today's NBA? I don't think so. The role of the guy who just foul and hack and play physical, there's no space for you anymore in the NBA. You got to be skilled. What are your thoughts on that?
Fifth.
What you mean? I agree from a certain perspective. Like, dudes are way more skilled today, I think, because not guards per se, but big men generally. Like, you got big men that are going out on the perimeter, shooting the ball, putting the ball on the floor, and making plays. Like, that's something that they never asked players to do back in the day. So I do feel like you do have to be a bit more skilled. And players are bigger, faster, stronger simply because of how science works, right, and how people advance. But I don't know if it's more physical than it's definitely not a more physical game than it was back in the day. Like,
Rule change wise, for sure, it's definitely gotten less physical. Just because of the rule changes, like players don't want to foul out. You want to stay on the floor. You can't hand check. Like you can't get near somebody. So, I mean, obviously that's correct. The last part of the statement, like they can't survive. I mean, okay, like the NBA has evolved. Obviously, we have stretch fives now. Like they didn't have that. They weren't even thinking about that. They didn't have stretch fours. So to say that, you know, maybe somebody like a Rodman or somebody that couldn't survive, that couldn't shoot or anything like that, that's false. Like if you have an elite talent, like that talent's gonna shine. You're going to rebound a basketball for a team. Okay, well, I need that. Like, there's not a lot of guys rebounding nowadays. Like, we were talking about earlier, Wilson, we were talking about OKC's rebounding challenge with their big men. Like, why can't you get more rebounds than a point guard? Like, what's going on? Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, come on, like, really. So, I mean, that part of it, I disagree. Like, there's gonna be a role for you. Like, if you're elite at what you do, like, you're in the NBA, you're getting paid, you're elite at what you do, there's a space for you.
I mean, I think he said some truths, but I think he just stating the obvious. I mean, if you unskilled in any area, you can't play any like why you hanging on the O area, and it's definitely much softer. And part of the reason is because the bigs have moved out. I mean, you're not banging on the block, but what do we see when it comes playoff time? You see a lot of teams in crunch time, they can't get easy baskets because can't nobody post up. So, I mean, I can understand having that in your game to keep the defense honest, but let's really be for real. When Shaq was dominating, couldn't nobody handle him, so a lot of the postmen started flowing out to draw him out, you know, so to speak. So that's where that really started and everything. And then it just got worse to the point where by the time he faded out, that's what bigs were doing, because obviously youngest coming up, they're watching to see what the league is doing. So, all right, I got to shoot jumpers to survive, because I'm not big like Shaq or whatnot, but back in the day, that's what centers did. They banged, they went to the block, they had post moves and stuff, and that's the thing that's really hurting the NBA. Maybe you need to get more physical, because that's a skill, being able to post up and score inside, and that's efficient basketball. And that hurts the other team, because those are fouls. You're going to the free throw line. You're beating up the team. You're beating up on the centers. It helps the team. So it's just another way of doing things. But to just say that they couldn't adjust and play, I'm not sure, because I feel like great players will adjust and play in any area. That's just what makes them great. So, I mean, he got a point. Obviously, if you're not skilled, you can't thrive in any area. But just to say that all the older big men, I mean, you know, sometimes they just talk the talk. And I like David West. He's a dog, but, you know, it is what it is.
Right. David West is like one of the more physical players of today's NBA.
Yeah,
so it's kind of weird for this to be coming from him, I guess. But, you know, it is what it is.
Michael Vick said, if I've ever seen another guy that looks like me, it's Lamar Jackson, Louisville, you know, quarterback. I mean, do y'all agree?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he said it. Like, I don't understand why people are discussing this, and like that's why I got so loud when you talk about changing positions, because I was immediately already thinking about the Lamar thing. Like, I'm sick of this. Like, some of these people who are quarterbacks should have found another sport, yet they got through college 4 years on a scholarship, being mediocre at throwing the football. But there's upside.
That's that box.
You know what I'm saying? There's upside. It's okay. He's a hard worker.
Right.
He has no arm talent, bro. Like, what do you mean?
That's that box.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I don't like. And already we doing this with Lamar Jackson. Man, Michael Vick came on the scene and he ran through the NFL, did whatever he wanted. And it was scary to people. Everybody but Atlanta hated it. Atlanta enjoyed it. They had, what's it called? It was about a Michael Vick experience. Like, if Lamar Jackson reminds Michael Vick of Michael Vick, I'm going to need Draft Twitter and everybody else to shut up and sit down for a little bit. Because if Michael Vick thinks that kid reminds him of him, how about we just sit back and watch before we already start talking about Vick and do the wide receiver something?
So people are trying to...
Yes, it's been like this for 3 years, yes.
I know who Lamar Jackson is. So people are trying to get him to change positions, though?
For 3 years.
I mean, he's
for 3 years.
Hey, man, he could be quarterback for the Broncos
for 3 years.
Now. I'll take him.
Nah, Mike, look, Mike, I know you know who he is, but Draft Twitter for 3 years.
That's
For 3
crazy.
years. Some of the dudes, the dude that went to Chicago, way better than him.
Dude scores like
Trubisky.
17 touchdowns a game.
One man record.
I'm leaving it right there.
And he's very young, so he has like a ton of upside.
But
not
that
how
goes
it
to the
works.
good old boy in that
hey,
we talked
it's not
about
how
with
it
the
works.
NFL.
Very true.
If you black and athletic and whatnot, it's like it's the same stereotype of basketball. You're not intelligent enough to play the game.
Very true.
I'm sure they tried. I'm sure they tried to do that to Vic too. I'm sure somebody.
Nah, they couldn't. It was overwhelming. You couldn't.
Right,
Like,
Nobody was
I'm sure somebody was out there like,
Nah. You got to think when you're the first one and is that overwhelming. Vic was that dominant.
Yeah.
Lamar ain't there. Like Lamar has shades.
Yeah, he's
of Vic.
not. Yeah,
like Vic
he's
was
not Vic.
Like that was a whole different level. Was shut up and take it.
Like you can't
Different
stop
ACC
me.
back
You ain't want to be that guy.
There
out
was
there
one
saying
person on
something.
the field that
You
you
look
could not
crazy.
stop, and it was the quarterback.
I mean-
It was like ridiculous.
Andre Ward says Mayweather would need several rounds to adjust to beat Conor McGregor.
I saw that.
I did see that.
What y'all thought? Andre Ward, my guy. But go ahead.
Right, Andre Ward dope, but
I
like
love
what,
Andre
bro?
Ward.
Like we should. I don't know. Like what? Yo, I'm not in a position to question what Andre Ward
exactly.
says, but like I'm just thinking about it. Like McGregor has no chance. Like
Unless he just talking about ring rust. Like I can see if Floyd was fighting him, then I would understand.
Right.
Like yeah, he gonna need some time. And doing that, I'm gonna punt. I'm gonna get. But a guy that never boxed before, man, look.
right, Floyd could probably knock son out.
Probably.
Very, very quickly.
A lot
He
of
just
people
got
say
messed
he
up
will,
hands. He just
actually.
got messed up hands, so he might not risk that. But yeah, if he was pissed enough, well, yeah, heck yeah, man. Like if he wanted to, come on. It's just his hands always break, it's brittle. But I mean, come on, man. Like not for novice, no.
Man, I think it's just a bunch of hype to try to like promote the fight at this point. Like the media is doing their best to make us interested. Like I'm literally not interested in this fight at all. Like I will catch the highlights. I will do what I need to go on Twitter, read everybody's tweets. I don't care. Like I'm not here for that, man. I'm definitely not. So anything that I'm hearing right now like that, any quotes, any comments, like I'm just putting it in that box, man. Like they trying to hype something that's really it's ridiculous. It's not a fight.
Yeah, I don't care about the fight, so I don't know. But shout out to Andre Ward. I do think you're an amazing boxer.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Shout out to you on your latest win. But Cardell, last question.
Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis wants an extension before training camp. Should he get one with Shaq Thompson clearly next in line?
Yes. Because the third linebacker, nobody knows their name. So if Shaq's gonna replace Thomas, you still got a hole. So yes, and yes. And as of right now, until Shaq becomes what Shaq's supposed to become, Thomas is still their best linebacker in coverage. You need to pay the man. Like, we got to stop this.
Real quick, wasn't that my man that put the staples in his arm for the Super Bowl came back?
Yeah.
You kidding me, man?
Yeah.
See?
They don't care about that.
Yeah, I know they don't. That's the
They don't
problem.
care about
Look,
that.
and also 2 ACL surgeries.
Hey,
And at speed, like, nah. Like,
Really
nah.
put his body on the
Look,
line for-
I'm not, and that's why I feel that way. I'm not here for any of that. I like Shaq Thompson a lot. I'm not here for that, man. I like Luke Kuechly a lot. I refuse. Y'all got to stop it. There's the biggest dog in that linebacker core is the
On that team.
look.
Let's be real.
Look on that team. Let's keep it a buck, as you said. Let's keep it a buck. It's Thomas Davis. Don't do this. Like, just don't do this right now. Don't do this for me at all. Because, like, a lot of times I know y'all see Luke Kuechly with the famous things and nice tackles or whatever. Tell me real quick when you rewind that tape how many times 58 get it before 59. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a Kuechly guy, but yeah, Thomas, yeah,
It's just
like
Just because
he's more the heart that you need.
he put
the
in
heartbeat.
so much work and sacrificed so much to make that team great, make their defense
Exactly.
good, man. Like, and that's the thing that bothers me about the NFL. It's
They
like
don't
they
care.
just don't care. Like, you can
You
do
are very expendable. Quick.
whatever.
You're so.
You know what I'm
expendable.
saying? Like, you can come back from whatever injury. You could break your ribs, puncture your lung, and be back
Look
the
at
next week.
Bridgewater, man. Bridgewater was on his way. He in practice, and it's like
You fighting for a job.
Yeah,
His,
man.
his,
You
his
fighting to stay in the
leg
league,
blown
man.
up, and now what? Like, he's an afterthought. You know what I'm saying? Now Sam Bradford is their future. It was like, what? Like, what?
the other thing for me with Carolina. Do y'all not remember the last time y'all let somebody go that was important in your defense? Like, do we not remember anything at all? Stop this nonsense. Pay people. You let Josh go, and somebody had 300 yards on y'all defense before. I hadn't seen that in a couple years, and it looked easy. And he didn't do that when Josh was there. You know, they kind of canceled each other out. Josh not there. Somebody looks like they out there playing. Look, and I'm just saying, is you take Thomas away from that run defense. Look, man, the fact that people were so ready to throw people away for no reason is just crazy to me. And it's actually, I can understand if he wasn't producing. I'm here for that. I get it. Y'all owe this man that. As far as I'm concerned, you owe that. Through all the changes you've had with that defense, Luke wasn't always there, folks. Thomas was there. You moved him from different positions, different sides. He's always there. He's consistent every time. Matter of fact, we've never seen Luke without Thomas, so what do we know what Luke is without Thomas? We seen Luke came in with Thomas. We never seen Luke without Thomas. Thomas always been right there.
That's his man, yo.
Just like we barely saw Urlacher without Briggs. Urlacher gets the love.
That was a good comparison.
Well, we
Urlacher
know why.
You know what I'm
Definitely
saying?
good
Just-
Good old boy, man.
Look, man, I'm just saying, like, it bothers me so deeply, and I'm not saying Kuechly's not really good. I'm just
Oh, he's
simply saying
amazing.
there's
He's
two
amazing.
really good linebackers there, right? And even if you got Kuechly here and Davis
It's
here,
deep,
the
bro.
gap's not here.
It's deeper than
I got
that.
you.
It's the
No, I
good
know,
old boy.
I know.
Look
Just
at what's going on in Dallas. They still holding the spot open for Romo. So, come on, man. Like,
I mean,
it's
we're at the
disrespectful.
point, like you said, we're at the point in Dallas where we're really trying to find other ways. We're trying to find ways to justify or diminish what this kid did last year. When if any, like if what's it called, dude who the Rams quarterback did that last year, people would be going crazy if Jared Goff did that. I mean, nuts. Offensive line wouldn't get no credit, nothing. Like we just gotta stop. Like I like to watch football.
Carson
I just
Wentz.
can't deal with a lot of the stuff with it. But Cardell, thank you for the question today. They're awesome.
No
I
doubt.
hope everybody enjoys the 4th of July weekend. When you guys see this, I hope you guys have enjoyed your 4th of July weekend. Get over to finestmag.com. Get over to mymonosports.com. We got continued missing coverage. We got Cardell got some stuff coming up in the coming weeks. You got some events you'll be going to?
Yeah, I'm still getting my schedule together, but I'm pretty sure I will.
All right, so again, he's going to be in more gyms, more events. We got more stuff coming up as well, so don't go anywhere. We see you guys next week. Same place right here on The Focus. Bye.